In this video, I'm going to show you how to use SQL Server Analysis Services models as data sources for other models. So there isn't an SSAS connector within the modeler, but what you can do is leverage the pyramid connector. The pyramid connector operates off of any report that you build. And so typically, if you're going to create a source report, what you want to do is in the report that you build, include all the fields that you need to use from the SSAS model. In this simple example, I've just got 4 measures by date for from a model called Sales Demo. And then I've got another report that has 4 measures and dates from a finance demo cube. So what I want to do is I want to combine these two into a brand new model. To do that, what I'm going to do is over here in my sources, I'm going to use pyramid as my source. I'm going to go find those reports, and then I'm just going to add them to the model. And then what's going to happen is we're going to see how that data comes across. If you look here, I've got my 5 fields from finance, my 5 fields from sales, and now I want to combine them. Now, when you're using a cube as a source, you can design the model however you need to. In this particular instance, I actually want to physically combine them into the same table. So I'm just going to connect these two to a join. I'm joining on the date, but in this case, I'm going to do a full outer join because I want all of these fields or all the records from both. And what you'll notice is when you're doing a join, the fields that you're joining on, you don't necessarily need to include both of those fields in the resulting source. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this one to not include that extra date. So if I look at the combined fields, what I should see is a date field and then a total of 8 measures here. All right, and you can see which ones are combining from sales, which ones are combining from finance, and how that's going to look. And then what we want to do is finish building this off. Now, in my case, I've got this date field, and the date actually came over, you'll see, as a string. So I want to convert this to an actual date. And so we're just going to say we want this guy to be a date. The format I'm going to use is this MDYY, and we're just going to include that. That will then allow me to use something like time intelligence to take that date and build out all the other pieces and parts that I need there. And then lastly, I'm going to put this in a pyramid in-memory database. And so we're going to hook that up. And I'm just going to call this the 2-cube model. We'll then flip over here to see what this is going to look like. This is all coming from a single table. You'll see all of my options here. I'm going to just set a couple format strings for my quantity and returns, and then the rest of it I'm going to just leave it. Because I use time intelligence, it created some hierarchies for me. I'm just going to go ahead and save this model, and we're going to process it. So let's go ahead and build it. You'll see it's going to process this. It's actually extracting the data from the cubes and putting them into an in-memory model. And then once it's done, it'll flip over to the discovery module, and we can see what this is going to look like. So I'm just going to grab my date hierarchy here, And let's grab sales, which is coming from the sales cube. And let's grab operating profit, which is coming from the finance cube. And you'll see that I'm now able to slice and dice that data appropriately for each of those. So this is a really simple example. Obviously, if you're going to use a much bigger cube or data set, you want to make sure that your source has many more fields. Everything that you want to slice and dice by, you want to include that in the report. But hopefully this makes sense and you're able to understand how to create a brand new model off of existing cubes.